Starting his shift, the MC works in the pitch-black forge. He spins around in a flash and goes to work on the anvil, hammer raised high, both hands on the handle, completely focused on the job. He swings down on the metal with everything he's got, releasing a heavy aura. Then a ghost pops out of nowhere asking if he really thinks this is gonna work. The apparition questions his motives. Is he really going through with this revenge stuff? Annoyed, the MC tells the ghost to get lost if it's just gonna talk trash, but the spirit pokes back, asking if guilt is the right word. Mocking him, the figure says it's a little too late to get mad and seek payback now. Ignoring the chatter, the MC goes back to smashing the metal with all the hate he's got. Suddenly, a painful flashback hits his mind, Seoul in a terrible spot. Right after that, the enemy flag waving in the middle of fire and destruction. Running through the ruined village, he desperately hunts for anyone left alive. Worst case scenario, he finds his dad completely broken, passing away right there in his arms. The MC howls in pain and breaks down crying in the rain, holding the old man's body. Back to the present. The ghost confronts him. How does the guy who crafted the assassin's weapons expect justice? He calls bluff on that nonsense and claps back at the taunt immediately. Closing his eyes for a split second in silence, he swallows the grief. Eyes open and spitting fire, he drops the truth. He doesn't care at all. Staring into the void, dead serious, he warns that he's not backing down. To wrap up the mood, a guy walks in and hands him a wooden box. The MC remembers his past life, back when he was the blood cult's blacksmith going by the name demonic craftsman. 15 years of that. Walking toward the temple, he admits there's no excuse. The whole tragedy was his fault, plain and simple. Right in front of the fallen Marim Alliance plaque, he swears that, with his own hands, he's gonna put an end to this whole story. He gets to the main hall doors and is announced the demonic craftsman is present. Outside, the crowd goes wild for the divine demon, shouting that everyone needs to bow down. In the middle of the victory party, a leader yells that the demonic heaven conquered everything after 15 years, and the blood cult runs things now. Another dude kisses up, saying all the glory belongs to their noble master. Chilling on the throne, the blood demon shows up as the big mastermind behind the conquest. The celebration keeps going, and the leader announces the demonic craftsman just forged the 11th divine weapon. With confident steps, the MC crosses the hall, heading straight for the throne. Determined, he just thinks that redeeming his sins doesn't even matter anymore. Finally, he takes a knee right in front of the boss. He lifts the box and offers it up to the blood demon. The leader uses a creepy purple power to open the box from a distance while the MC gets ready. Looking at what's inside, the master's jaw drops. Startled, he sees there's nothing in the box and asks what kind of joke this is. With a killer glare, the MC only thinks, it happens today. He dumps all his energy into that empty box and warns he's gonna end it all right there. And that's where it gets crazy. The box erupts in a massive burst of purple power. Furious, the leader screams, insults the MC, and demands to know what's going on. The shockwave throws the guy far back. He definitely didn't see that coming. Falling down clumsy, he looks around, having no clue what's happening. The MC charges up some cracked energy to strike while the master in the back tries to get up. The leader summons the blood demon and fires an energy beam straight at the throne. Flying at top speed, a dark projectile heads right toward the master. The blood demon sees the attack coming but doesn't even blink, just stays chilling in his seat. Smashing into the stairs, the blast erupts before reaching the throne, protecting the target. The MC can't believe it when he realizes his plan completely failed. As the smoke clears, he sees the blood demon doesn't have a single scratch. How is this guy unharmed? The master warns that the show isn't over and raises his hand to prepare the payback. He starts molding a new attack, focusing all that power into his fingertips. Wrapped in his own aura, the MC reveals he's going to use the martial arts he learned from the enemy himself. He swears to burn his very last drop of life if he has to, and that purple energy gets even more OP. Eyes glowing with power, he focuses every ounce of intent into the next strike. With a scream of rage, the MC punches the ground with all the strength left in his body. The floor cracks open, and a giant pillar of energy shoots up, swallowing the leader right in front of him. Completely consumed by the pillar of light, the guy gets dusted by that insane power. One of the elders is in shock, not getting how a simple blacksmith fights like this. Looking into the destruction, the blood demon just watches from afar, without a single scratch. The MC collapses and coughs up blood, his body finally feeling the toll of the damage. Feeling like the mission is done, he passes out from exhaustion, thinking he won. Amused by the situation, the blood demon drops some black smoke showing a poison actually got him. Analyzing the wound, the master spots a formless, energyless dagger stuck right in his chest. He concludes that formless flying dagger is a very fitting name for the weapon. And just like that, everything changed. The MC panics. How did the villain know the technique? And worse, how is he still standing? Out of nowhere, the master appears behind him and lands a hit that sends him flying. Gripping the the blood-stained dagger, the demon asks if his former servant still hasn't figured out what's going on. He reveals he knows everything and drops a warning. Being the Tang clan's successor won't make the revenge work. While getting choked out, the MC yells at the master to keep his family's name out of his dirty mouth. With a mocking tone, the demon says he'd even spare the kid if he still had a drop of internal energy left. The MC tells him to shut up and swears he'll curse the scumbag for eternity. Taking the challenge, the master says he's gonna give him the final gift of his life right now. Starting a weird ritual, the villain holds the dagger, which glows with a bizarre red light. Confused, the MC doesn't understand a single thing the guy is mumbling about. With just one move, the master launches the kid way up high, throwing him into the sky. Flying out of control, the MC can only scream as he gets further from the ground. The blood demon conjures a giant sword of energy and lightning, preparing the finishing blow. He reaches out his hand to grab the celestial weapon he just created out of thin air. Vibrating with immense power, the sword shoots sparks, ready for the takedown. The MC howls in agony when that intense light hits him head-on. With the energy tearing through him, he feels the full impact of the final strike. Looking up at the sky, he vanishes into that devastating power. He drops like dead weight, wondering at what point the plan fell apart. Deep in the dark, he reflects that, because he was born with a flawed body, he was forced to be a blacksmith and never truly lived. He gives in to the darkness, wondering if everything would be different if he knew what the future held. On the day evil took over the world, Tang Sichuan, the demonic craftsman, met his end. No one saw that coming. After blacking out, he wakes up to the sound of talking and plates right in front of him. A man slams the table in anger and starts yelling at him, asking if he's deaf. The guy gets no real answer, as the dizzy MC just lets out a "what?" Completely lost, he tries to figure out where he is and why all this noise is happening. He brings a hand to his head, complaining about the pain in this mental fog. Realizing he's alive, he finds it bizarre since he was sure he passed away, but his senses are crystal clear. The man slams the table again, furious because the MC isn't paying any attention. The guy steps up close and tells Mr. Tang to wake up to reality, raising his hand to teach him a lesson. She warns that a dog that doesn't obey needs to be disciplined and smacks him right across the face. Stunned by the slap, the MC touches his face and feels the sting of real pain. The man yells again, and the MC finally recognizes the faces: Ju Nampyung, Monggook, and Lee Ho-sung. This is where it gets good. Coming to his senses, he turns his neck and stares at whoever is right behind him. Catching on to the situation, he spots a drop of liquor dripping down the person behind him. On the floor and completely trembling, Seal calls out for the young leader with a choked-up voice. Furious, the MC instantly pieces together what's happening. Then the memory of that terrible night comes rushing back. He remembers every single detail. This was 16 years ago, right at Li Hoxiang's party for becoming the Marim Alliance boss's disciple. It was on this exact day they messed with Seal, why he just stood there doing nothing. The truth hits him hard. Today is actually that cursed day. Wondering if it's a dream, he adjusts his clothes and decides it doesn't even matter anyway. He steps closer to Seal, trying to calm her down and promising she doesn't need to be scared anymore. Apologizing for failing her before, he grabs her by the shoulders and swears that, even if this is fake, he's gonna change how this plays out. But Chu Nampyung ruins the moment by storming in and talking trash. Blocking the strike, the MC catches Nampyung's arm mid-air. With a cold glare, he offers one last chance and demands a proper apology. Nampyung completely loses it, screaming the MC is crazy while struggling to break free. Blaming the victim, the coward claims she was hitting on him and asks if the MC wants to die. But our boy simply dodges. He praises his sister's common sense for rejecting the guy on the spot, while the other two just stand there watching. Annoyed, Nampyung tells him to shut his mouth while he's still playing nice. Manggook doesn't even care, joking that with Nampyung's face, he'd reject him too, which makes the scumbag even madder. Pushing the buttons a bit more, the MC points out that Nampyung stinks and no one would ever want him. Blinded by rage, Nampyung draws his sword and threatens to end him, but the MC roasts him, saying his personality is uglier than his face. The clown stands there shocked after missing his strike, screaming, "How dare you?" keeping a straight face. The MC reminds the dude that cheap shots are strictly forbidden in the Orthodox Miram. He remembers how he used to just freeze and take the beating back in the day, but the tables have turned. Dodging the other two, he moves with a speed nobody expected. With a smirk, he grabs Nampyung's blade and asks if that's really all the tough guy has got. Triggered, Nampyung calls him cocky, claiming he's only dodging these strikes out of pure luck. Putting all his weight into the blade, he He charges forward with a heavy swing. He screams at him to drop dead, swearing the MC won't escape this time. But then a reality check hits. The attack completely failed. The guy short-circuits seeing the MC block his sword, stuttering that it's impossible. Having his blade stopped by a single finger, Nampyong freezes in place. The MC shoves the sword away with force, throwing the attacker totally off balance. Moving like a blur, he sets up for the counterattack. He sweeps Nampyong's legs right out from under him, sending the guy straight to the floor. Smashing face first, the punk gets launched into the wall from the sheer impact of the hit. With his face crushed against the brick, Nampyong can only groan in pain. The MC's eye flashes red, unleashing a deeply sinister aura. Sweating bullets, Nampyong is absolutely terrified by this sudden power spike. He glares down at the worm with zero respect, ready to deliver checkmate. To finish this for good, he busts out the one-point kill technique. Gripping his blade tight, the MC winds up for the lethal strike. Manguk desperately begs him to chill out, but it's way too late. And just like that, everything changed. Our boy cleanly slices right through Manguk's arm. The guy drops screaming in agony, gripping his stump, while the MC tells him to quit being dramatic. Locking eyes with Nampyong, he casually warns that was just the warm-up. Totally rattled, Nampyong can't process how some Tang clan trash beat him and starts screaming about dark magic. A flash of betrayal crosses the MC's mind, bringing back his own dirty past. He views himself as a traitor for handing divine weapons to the blood cult just to score fighting techniques. With a determined look, he swears he's not letting any of this slide. Owning up to the accusation, the MC steps toward Nampyong, who screams at him to back off. The MC clearly states he's no hero, channeling golden energy into his chest to end this clown show once and for all. Watching through tears of sheer panic, Nampyong is helpless as our boy readies his next move. Your heart is next, warns the MC, raising a blade crackling with lightning and a blood-red aura. The bystanders are completely shook, having zero clue what's going on and wondering if Lee Ho-san actually lost. Everyone thought the outcome was obvious. The Alliance boss's disciple against a nobody from the Tang clan. Another guy tries to step in, suggesting young Master Tang just walk away right now. Not even blinking, the MC completely ignores the warning with a death stare. The guy yells in pure terror, completely overwhelmed by the heavy pressure. Freaking out, he and his buddy just dip and run for their lives. Left alone with his target, our boy locks back into the fight, feeling the wound on his back burning up. A glowing purple sphere pulses right on his back. That demonic energy is just dying to break loose. Coughing up blood, he's putting in serious work just to keep it all under control. Hang in there, he tells himself, knowing he can't expose this shady power right now. Staring down at Lee Ho-song crying on the floor, the MC admits he didn't even mind getting stepped on, but then glances at Seal crying in the corner, adding that any real man should have at least some basic decency. Lee Ho-song tells the MC to get lost, claiming he's just spouting pure nonsense. Trash like you just deserves to be taken out, our boy states, rushing right in. He swings a lightning charge strike, aiming right for Lee Ho-sun's head. Suddenly, but MC feels something off and gets totally caught off guard by what happens next. One of the cowards who ran away pops back up, gripping his sword tight. Stepping right in the way, Ju Nampyong blocks the strike and tells young Master Tang to cool it. Cut off, the MC drops to his knees, dead tired and shocked by the sudden parry. Noticing the rest of the squad is back, he realizes this isn't going to be a one-on-one fight anymore. The MC instantly recognizes these newcomers. They're the escort dragon guards, the elite team protecting the disciples. Hearing their leader, Sun Woon, call Lee Ho-song a total idiot, it all clicks for him. With pure hate in his eyes, he realizes these guys were already in on it back in the day. He remembers the future timeline. These dudes and Lee Ho-song become the Alliance's biggest traitors, wiping out half their own people later on. Dead serious, the kid decides he needs to wipe them out right here, no matter what it takes. He taunts the guard leader right back. And what if I don't stand down? What are you gonna do? Pointing at Lee Ho-song on the ground, he questions their authority, since this punk isn't even an official disciple yet. Sun Woon is left speechless, totally caught off guard by the logic. Frustrated, the guard wonders how the kid even knows Lee Ho-song is still on a trial run. The MC points at Seo, calling them out. They watched a girl get harassed and did nothing, but now they want to protect the criminal? Getting defensive, Sun Woon calls him a smartmouth, stating that justice isn't his job since the Alliance has its own rules. The MC just lets out a sarcastic laugh at the absolute hypocrisy of it all. He straight up asks if this is the standard for the good guys in the Orthodox faction, leaving Sun Woon completely silent. Real fair and balanced of you guys, huh? He mocks. Boiling with rage over the disrespect, Sun Woon immediately draws his sword. He threatens the MC, giving him one last chance to hit the dirt and beg, or things are going to get ugly. All bark, no bite. Our boy fires back, asking if he made captain just by talking big. Sun Woon finally snaps, saying this pump's arrogance is out of control. He shouts the order to his squad, take this brat down. The guards all attack at once, but the MC senses that Sun Woon is at the peak realm level, which spells big trouble. Keeping up his scan, he realizes the other three are cracked elite fighters too. The MC parries a heavy, direct strike with his own blade. Using the hilt of his sword, he perfectly deflects the guard's swing like a pro. He spins his body fast, using his own momentum to set up a brutal counterattack. Dropping to the dirt, the kid narrowly dodges a massive slash coming from above. The sharp edge skims right past, practically shaving his face. Surrounded on all sides, he's stuck in a serious tight spot against this many guys. Keeping his eyes peeled, he braces himself to take the next wave of hits. He dodges and parries the strikes with top-tier precision. Fatigue kicks in, and he remembers the cost. Thanks to that technique, he only has about 2 years of energy left. With no time to waste, he sets up for an attack that'll end this for good. Sun Woon lets out a battle cry and charges in, going all out. Sliding across the floor, our boy leaves the guy hitting thin air. He leaps over one of the guards, using the momentum to drop the hammer on Sun Woon. Landing a clean strike right on the leader's neck, he sends the dude straight to the floor. Sun Woon collapses from the impact and just lies there, completely dazed. Following up with a heavy kick, the MC launches the guy far away. In pure shock, the Sun Woon doesn't even get what's going on. The MC pulls a knife and throws it straight at the ceiling. Seeing the blade stuck in the wood, the leader calls him a punk, claiming the MC is just mocking them since he's a third-rate fighter. But our boy grips his blade tight, ready for the next move. Sun Woon starts shaking and calls the MC a monster. Ignoring the guy's fear, the kid tells him to stop stalling and fight. The guard is so frozen he can barely move a muscle. Delivering a devastating kick, the MC catches Sun Woon right in the sweet spot. Thrown across the hall, the guard leader flies through the air screaming in pain. Hitting the ground, it's game over. He is completely out of the fight. Even though he's hurt, the MC faces down another opponent walking up. The guy asks who he thinks he is to act so cocky, glaring at the MC with pure disgust. Claiming the MC belongs on the dirt for being third-rate trash, the man points at the other two defeated guys. He starts a whole lecture about the price of showing off like that, but the MC just thinks blah blah blah. Exhausted, he complains that the dude talks so much it doesn't even let him breathe. With 0 options left, the MC decides the only solution right now is to force open his own upper energy core. Startled, the guard doesn't get it and takes a step back. Missing the trick completely, he says nothing will change and the MC only wins by talking big. Our boy tells him to shut his mouth and bring it on, unleashing a heavy blue aura. Seeing that sheer determination, the guard figures the kid actually wants to meet his maker. The man gets into a stance and warns he's gonna grant that wish. He leaps toward the MC to deliver the finishing blow. And that's where it gets crazy. The guard sees something he never expected in his wildest dreams. The formless flying dagger appears floating right there, and he short-circuits trying to figure out what it is. Confused, the MC wonders if the dagger entered his core back then, but can't wrap his head around how it's here now. Thinking he won, the guard rushes in, but the MC warns the reason doesn't matter. What matters is what he's holding. The man manages to knock away the kid's knives and disarms him. With that blue aura glowing bright, the MC gets ready to settle the fight in one single strike. Suddenly, a golden energy completely takes over the entire hall. Frozen in place, the guard is pinned down by that heavy power. Failing to move a single muscle, he panics, having no clue what this is. He spots a foot stepping closer and realizes the big boss of this place has arrived. An old man walks right past him and barges into the hall like he owns it. Dropping his jaw, our boy stands there wondering who this old guy is. The elder taps his shoulder and drops a warning for him to never use that power in such a reckless way. Instantly, the MC recognizes the face. He looks exactly like his master. We're talking about the strongest guy in Jiangsu right now, the master of the Murim Alliance, the Sword Emperor, Eugene Hawk. The MC is completely shook. Standing frozen, the MC stares at the Sword Emperor, who starts digging up some stories from the past. The old man scowls and clenches his fists, remembering how ugly the war against the Blood Cult got, pushing the Murim Alliance into a corner. Back then, most people chickened out and bent the knee to the demon's power. Almost everyone fell, leaving nothing but a trail of destruction everywhere you looked. But the Alliance leader and the Wudang crew were built different and fought to the very last man. Acting as the sheriff of Muram, the Sword Emperor got tired of raising his blade against his enemies. The problem is he ended up passing away precisely because of a divine weapon our boy crafted. Rough. Snapping back to the present, the dagger is now right in the MC's hand. He shakes his head, no use crying over spilled milk. Luckily, the old man didn't sense the flying dagger. If even the blood demon didn't notice the weapon, he fully expected the elder to miss it too. However, now he's got a brand new problem to deal with. Worried, the kid does the math. If the emperor turns on him, can he actually fight back with the dagger? Out of nowhere, the old man makes a face like he has no clue what's going on. Admitting he can't see a single thing there, he says it's the first time he's ever dealt with something like this. The elder calls him a child and mentions the kid seems to have some seriously rare talent. Freezing up, the MC just stays quiet after that comment. He turns his head and hears a voice saying he must have been through the ringer. A hand touches a girl's shoulder, promising her that everything's gonna be fine now. Being super gentle, the man tells her to rest up and only get up when she feels better. The MC gets hit with shock. Who is this girl? He didn't even sense her standing there. Losing his cool, the Sword Emperor yells, asking why the other guy vanished. The dude replies he felt a weird energy in the core and had to check it out. The man walks over to the girl and apologizes to someone named Bo Yeon. Doubting himself, the MC wonders, is this who I think it is? It actually is her, the divine Non Bo Yeon, former leader of the MA sect, and the famous Crouching Tiger Divine Doctor. Sweating bullets, he realizes the situation was already bad with the Alliance leader, but with the Divine Doctor in the room, things just got way too tight. 15 minutes before this, the scene cuts to a pavilion by the lake. Sipping some tea, Bo Yeon goes off on the Sword Emperor. The elder, looking like he's heard this 1,000 times, listens to her say that some people never learn. He brings up how many folks in the Muram Alliance flipped sides and forgot their honor, which is why he took charge to clean house. With a heavy sigh, he realizes that, even after all that effort, everything is still a hot mess. Pouring a drink, Bo Yeon asks if he really thought fixing the world would be a walk in the park. She slams the bottle on the table and calls him a clueless Taoist. The two keep chatting right there by the water in a much more chilled out vibe. Dropping some advice, she says, "Don't try to carry the world on your back alone, old man." She keeps it real. If the burden is too heavy, do what she did. Retire and just live off drinking wine and chilling. Chuckling, the Sword Emperor finds the suggestion pretty funny, but his expression drops instantly. He felt something in the air. Annoyed, Bo Yeon warns that it's no time to laugh because if he loses himself to his own demons, no one will. Looking to the side, she sees he's already gone. Who's gonna stop this man? She mutters. Bo Yeon gets super pissed and curses the scumbag out for vanishing into thin air, complaining that the Emperor is a master at running away. She looks at the knocked out guy and wonders if there's still any hope for him. She feels a problem is way deeper. The damage was so bad that not even a miracle could fix it. Right in the middle of this mess, young Tang Suwoon panics, trying to find a way out of there. Calling the MC a kid, Bo Yeon steps closer to him. She notices the fallen guy's wound is brutal and asks if the MC used some special trick. Glaring at the kid with pure intensity, the Sword Emperor asks if he used any forbidden or evil technique. A flashback of the fight hits, the MC wiping the floor with the enemies while the two big shots just watched from the VIP seats, shouting out yes. Tang Suwoon says the Divine Doctor hit the nail right on the head. He explains that the MC is just a low-level fighter, but used a heavy technique to drop an elite guy. Facing the Emperor, the MC states he didn't want any trouble, but as a follower of the Orthodox faction, he was forced to step up. Sprawled on the floor, the MC keeps up the act, but the Emperor just notes he talks a big game. The old man scowls and demands to know how the kid plans to explain this whole mess. Our boy states he doesn't owe any explanation and reveals he used the Sichuan Tang clan's techniques. Keeping it real, he explains the clan might be at rock bottom, but the blood is the same, and what he did was still going easy on a guy who messed with a Tang. The MC warns that the nice guy routine is over and from now on, nobody gets a free pass. With a steady glare, he declares he won't show mercy to anyone, not even if the Emperor himself tries to block his path. Releasing his aura, the Elder asks if the MC is really willing to throw his life away over an impulse. In a flash, both auras clash and the tension gets seriously heavy. The MC activates his skill and his eyes glow gold. Taking the hit, he realizes the pressure coming from the Sword Emperor is built different. The old man wants an answer. Is revenge worth more than his life? Our boy fires back, saying this isn't just some random whim. He stares into the void, remembering everything he went through in his past life. Seeing the Muram Alliance in ruins within his memories, he explains he just wants to fix this twisted world, one step at a time. With a tight grip on his dagger, he locks eyes with the big shot and warns he's walking the exact same path. The MC states he'll follow this route even if he has to burn all his life force to do it. Figuring out the kid is walking the same line he stumbled on in the past, the Emperor wonders if the boy can handle the heat. Convinced, the elder says if the MC's will is that fierce, he's gonna put it to the test. Suddenly, the MC gets startled by what starts going down. In the blink of an eye, the Sword Emperor unleashes a combo of fast and deadly strikes. He focuses all his power into a jaw-dropping swordwork technique. That attack creates an energy blade that slices through everything in his path. With a master spin, the old man draws a Taiji symbol in the air using his sword. Analyzing the strike, the kid realizes it holds endless Taiji principles, and only those who know their stuff can grasp that enlightenment. Even with all that complexity, he admits, the whole thing is beautiful to watch. Facing that level of skill, the MC thinks he wouldn't even mind dying to a blade like that. Blown away, he concludes the Wudang style is the definition of strength hidden behind gentleness. The Emperor lets out a roar, telling the guy on the floor to get up right now. Appearing like a blur right above the heavy guy, he's ready for the takedown. Desperate, the man screams for his master Li Ho-sang. Catching a glimpse of his boss arriving, he feels relieved for a split second and starts yelling for help. Bo Yan mentions the Emperor did her job for her, but thinks it's crazy to say that to someone who almost kicked the bucket. Pointing the sword right at the guy, the elder says his opponent risked his life to prove a point. He asks what the dude is gonna do now, and the man freezes, seeing his own face reflected on the blade. Dropping the question, the Emperor watches the coward scream that he'll fight too, pinning the whole blame on the MC. The elder tells him to shut his mouth, claiming his ears will rot if he keeps listening to this nonsense. Apologizing to the MC, the Emperor tells him to chill out, since the old man is taking the heat for everything. Our boy says thanks, while the guy on the floor keeps screaming for his master in pure panic. With an ice-cold glare, the Sword Emperor states he never had a disciple like that. Then he gives the MC the green light to punish the dude however he sees fit, begging for everyone to stay away. The man cowers while the MC unleashes that sinister aura. The guy draws his sword, telling everyone to back off, but our boy warns that dying would be too good for a scumbag like him. Gathering all his energy into his fist, he gets ready for the damage. With a brutal punch, he catches the man right in a sweet spot. He grabs the guy by the collar and lets the blast's energy swallow everything. A lightning-packed energy ball forms right at the point of impact. Tossing the guy with full force, the MC makes him kiss the dirt hard. The hit is so heavy that the dude bounces off the floor and flies straight into the ceiling. Howling in agony, the man crashes while the ceiling crumbles from the smash. With a scary smirk, the kid warns he'll have to stay alive to feel pain worse than death. The Sword Emperor just watches it all quietly, keeping an unreadable face. Keeping it real, the Emperor asks if he can leave the judgment of those people in our boy's hands. Our boy decides to trust the old man and backs off. The worst of them already got what he deserved, and he believes the elder will make the rest pay up. Bowing to show his thanks for keeping his honor intact, he says since the old guy let his attitude slide, he'll return the favor. The MC walks over to the girl, who's still curled up in the corner. Hugging the young lady, he tells the Emperor that once things settle down, he'll drop by his clan. As the kid walks away carrying the girl, the Emperor asks if he can spare some time for a chat when that happens. Carrying the girl, our MC looks back and says if it's for a cup of tea, then it's a deal. He throws in that signature half smile. Over in Sichuan sits the famous Mount Tang. It used to have a different name, but people started calling it that because of the 3 sects living there, including the Tang clan. That's where the Tang clan manor is located, a place that used to strike fear into a lot of folks. But that fame didn't last long. Today the clan's plaque is just sitting there, tossed aside and covered in cobwebs. These days, the Tang clan fell off the rankings and is nothing more than a mid-tier sect. A worried woman asks the leader if everything's okay, saying he shouldn't be wearing himself out personally. This is Tang Saren, the MC's older sister, barking orders at the assassination squad. Giving the men a heads up, she states the young master's safety is their #1 priority. She orders everyone to march right now while our MC watches the troops from behind. Hearing a familiar voice, Tang Saren spins around completely startled. And just like that, everything changed. She sees the kid and stands in shock. Tang Sawun, holding the girl in his arms, the MC simply drops on back. He adjusts the kid a bit, who keeps resting peacefully on his shoulder. Looking at that crowd of fighters, he asks where everyone's heading in such a rush. The scene cuts to his room, where the MC plants his feet firmly on the floor. Walking over to the desk, he stops right in front of a portrait. He checks his own reflection in the glass, noting that, honestly, he actually regressed, and crosses his arms, deep in thought. A mysterious message pops up. We will meet again, leaving the question hanging. Is this just some leftover from the past? The MC coughs up some dark sludge. His body is charging the toll for the martial arts he used. Kneeling and panting, he confirms the obvious. His energy circulation is completely messed up. He reflects that the golden energy art was made to help with blacksmithing and works more like a bodily heal. Since his core treats internal energy like poison, he has no choice but to stick to this slow method. Determined, he figures the only way is to push forward and never stop. Recalling the facts, he remembers that even though fighters think this golden art is trash, it's what let him forge divine weapons. Plus, the technique the blood demon taught him for revenge revealed a brand new way to flip the script. Locking in, his feet start glowing with a bright blue aura. Before turning back the clock, nobody could fix his deformed core. Staring at the glowing core, he sees the problem is still sitting there clear as day. Quickly adjusting his posture, he gets ready to grind his training. Clenching his fist tight, he decides that, this time around, his glow-up is gonna be way faster. As time flies, day turns into night, and the full moon lights up the roof. Hours keep ticking by, and he doesn't stop for a single second. Surrounded by a bright aura, the MC assures himself that everything is under control. Meditating hard, he feels the energy finally settle down and stay stable. The golden art is already sitting at 5 stars, while the blood demon's technique is starting to kick into gear. Both of them run on different energies, and while the golden one restores the core's breath, the demon's technique makes the amount of internal energy level up. Sitting right in the middle of all that power, he thinks nobody would believe it if they saw this. Satisfied with the grind, the kid notices he can use the core's energy however he wants and starts mapping out the next plan. He puts away his aura, fixes himself up, and gets ready to head out. Sitting in his room, the MC coughs a bit and notices he blocked his energy so nobody can sense it, not even by smell. Right now, changing clothes is the main priority. Already in fresh gear, he starts pacing back and forth, but a nagging thought keeps bugging him. Staring at the blade, he tries to figure out how the formless flying dagger traveled back in time with him. He just stands there racking his brain, unable to explain this phenomenon. Suddenly, he catches a young kid peeking through the door. Stuttering heavily, the boy apologizes to the young leader and warns that the clan head wants to see him right now in the Shonu Hall. The kid explains the urgency, saying he had to walk in without knocking, but the MC calms him down. He already knew this summons was coming. "You're Zhang Yil, right?" our boy asks, stepping closer to him. Dropping his jaw, the kid confirms, having no clue how the MC knows his name. With a cool smile, the MC says it's really great to see him again. Crossing the clan's hallways, memories from the past hit him like a truck. He stops right in front of the plaque that reads, Shinu Hall. From inside, a yell breaks out. Someone asks how they could say such a thing, and if there's no other way to fix this mess. Light floods the corridor the second the door swings open. Walking in, the MC faces a whole council of elders gathered around a massive table. The vibe is heavy, and everyone glares at him with zero friendly faces. Ignoring the hostility, the MC walks straight toward the clan leader. One of the elders looks at him with pure disgust, not even trying to hide it. A tragic image flashes in his mind of holding his dad's body in his arms. Picking up the pace, he keeps a steady posture. Deep in his thoughts, the open wound of his fallen father still aches. Radiating a golden aura, our boy takes his spot, filled with confidence. With a formal gesture, he introduces himself. Tang Suwoon, the young leader of the clan. For a split second, the pain of the past flashes in his memory, but he holds his ground, not wavering one bit. Glowing golden eyes locked in, he announces he came to fulfill the boss's orders. Tang Muyewol, the supreme leader of the Tang clan, tells him to stand up. "Yes, boss," the kid replies, obeying right on the spot. Muttering to himself, an elder wonders where all this kid's boldness came from. The MC scans the room and reaches a conclusion. The Tang clan is hanging by a thread. He cuts off the chatter and notes the discussion seems lively, urging them to continue since the topic is the 2 lethal poisons threatening the clan. Raising his hand, a man asks for the floor to keep going. That's Tang Ho Yo, the boss of the Manhwa escort agency, and he turns to face the MC. Looking dead serious, he tells the MC he needs to realize the gravity of his actions. Desperate for the clan's survival, he suggests the MC hand himself over to the Morum Alliance for judgment. Our boy figures it out instantly. Tang Huyol is the first poison. In his mind, he sees his uncle's shady figure laughing and promising to take everything from him. Blood boiling, our boy braces himself for what's about to drop. Standing before the leader, he hears that sinister vow again about losing everything he owns. During a past flashback, the shocked kid asks if his uncle is really turning his back on the clan. With a side smirk, the uncle confirms that's exactly the plan. Panicking, the MC questions if he doesn't see the clan going broke if the escort agency leaves. Swatting his hand away, the uncle says he's leaving precisely because of that. Unable to believe what he's hearing, the kid asks how he even has the nerve. Walking away, the uncle drops the bomb. Tang Yahello stole the clan leadership from him. fueled by pure hate. He confesses he waited years for this moment of payback. Laughing like a maniac, the uncle declares the Tang clan will be his and his alone now. Back to the present, the MC reflects, if he hadn't reached 5 stars in the golden art and learned to craft relics, the Tang clan would have starved to death way before the demons even showed up. Losing his patience, a man slams the table and screams at the escort boss. Tang Jun, the medicine hall master, goes off on the escort boss for disrespecting the clan's rightful heir. Outraged, he points out nobody dragged to the Alliance's law hall ever came back in one piece, yet they still want to send the young master there. Another man looks thoughtful and admits he feels the same heavy conscience. Asked about the reason for his doubt, he replies that, despite everything, this seems like the only way the Tang clan won't get wiped off the map. Turning to head butler's son, one of the elders asks if there's a single living soul who'd take their side against the Qing Chung sect. Sun Jian, the butler handling everything inside and out, stays completely silent. One guy figure Son's silence says it all. Nobody is helping, and when the alliance leader arrives, they're toast. Our boy realizes the clan is going down the drain because of Tang Hoyle's plan. That old fighting spirit is gone. That's the second poison. Acting like a know-it-all, Tang Hoyle asks how the MC beat the alliance prodigy, hinting he used some dirty trick. Boiling inside, the MC thinks he'll collect this debt with interest, but out loud, he just says his uncle is dead wrong. Right in front of everybody, the kid states that questions shouldn't even be aimed at him. Tang Hoyo loses his temper and yells, "This is no time for jokes." Smirking internally, the uncle figures no matter how the MC won, he's still just a third-rate fighter. He releases his own peak round master aura, fully believing the kid would crumble, but no one saw that coming. His jaw drops seeing the MC tank the pressure without even blinking. From the throne, the clan leader orders everyone to shut their mouths right away. Then he looks at his son and asks the real reason he went all out on Li Hosong. Sporting a side smirk, our MC announces that from now on, he's gonna come clean and spill every single detail of this story, hiding nothing. One of the elders freaks out hearing he risked his life over a silly little fight, and the MC confirms, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Furious, the old man yells, this isn't a proper excuse, but the kid stands his ground saying it definitely is. Filled with rage, the man accuses him of being a shameless brat for putting his own family in mortal danger. Ignoring the tantrum, the MC turns to his uncle and asks what the Tang clan means to him. Caught off guard, the uncle stutters hard, having no idea how to answer that question. The kid then declares that, to him, the Tang clan is a place where every member is a core piece. Recalling the clan's unity in his memories, he remembers hearing no disaster could take them down if they stuck together. He reinforces that a clan member must lay down their life for another without a second thought. Quoting the former boss, the MC states with conviction, if it's to protect our own blood, we die smiling. That's what being a Sichuan Tang is all about. The clan leader stays silent, just watching the kid's posture. Then an elder asks what the big deal about all this is anyway. With a look of disgust, the MC questions if he should have just sat there watching Sewell get attacked by that scumbag. Cutting in annoyed, Tang Hoyle says the talk isn't over, and he's still suspected of using forbidden arts. Out of nowhere, the MC tosses some daggers on the floor and warns, "This is what I used." One of the men gasps, "Those are training daggers. You used that against the leader's disciple?" Curious, another guy asks how he beat a first-class fighter with a toy, and the kid replies he used his innate core energy. The council is shook, knowing that's pretty much suicide. But they get how he punished the villain. The MC just corrects them, saying he was honoring the former boss's last wish. Staring down his uncle, our boy asks if he's satisfied now, or if he still has doubts. Impressed, the elders conclude he actually fought for real, putting his own life on the line. But one of them finds it weird. If he used that terminal energy, how does he look so normal right now? Cool as a cucumber. The MC explains that, by pure luck, the Alliance leader and the Divine Doctor showed up and patched his body up. A heavy guy screams it's all a lie and asks what those big shots would gain by helping him, but gets cut off by a shout of, "Clan leader." Bursting in completely out of breath, a guard warns that things are getting crazy. And that's where it gets crazy. The Alliance leader himself appears right at the hall's door. The elders almost fall out of their chairs over the unexpected visit. Walking in, the Sword Emperor gives our boy a little pat on the shoulder and chuckles. Finally, the guard manages to announce the VIP, and the Emperor asks if everything is peaceful with everyone. Bowing respectfully, the clan head greets the Alliance master. He starts apologizing for not throwing a proper welcome, but the Emperor cuts him off, telling him to drop the empty formalities. Grateful for him accepting the apology, the clan leader says that being the case, he warns he's not going to make a big deal out of the bad manners, leaving the other elders lands with their jaws on the floor. Outraged, Tang Hoyo pushes back against the clan head, claiming the emperor's visit is a massive honor and he shouldn't act so rude. Bowing all the way down, he introduces himself as Tang Hoyol, boss of the Manhwa agency, trying to score some brownie points with the alliance leader. The emperor just hits him with a "who's this guy" stare that completely freezes the dude's soul, with just his presence striking fear. The elder asks if the men mind staying out of the conversation, making Tang Hoyo stutter an apology right on the spot. Gesturing around, our boy points out that, as the emperor can see, things are so rough here they can't even serve tea. The old man says it's all good and decides to act as the alliance leader for a second. He turns to Tang Muyol and the whole Tang clan crowd to kick off his speech. Making a formal gesture, he sets the stage for a major announcement. Dead serious, he offers a sincere apology on behalf of the Marine Alliance. Tang Hoyol is completely shook hearing the emperor admit he should have been stricter raising his disciple, taking the blame as Li Hosong's master. Clasping his hands together, the emperor promises to pay a hefty compensation to the victim and the Tang clan to make things right. But the clan head interrupts, stating that the Tang clan didn't even lift a finger to solve anything. Looking at his son, he explains all the credit goes to Tang Sowoon, who handled the whole mess by himself. Because of that, he turns down the cash and the perks meant for the clan, leaving the hall in dead silence. He asks the Alliance Master to make sure the story doesn't get twisted and that the Alliance steps in if needed. The MC figures the Qingcheng sect will definitely spin 1,000 lies to hide their shame, and just like in his past life, they try to screw him and the clan over. Stepping up, the Emperor assures him there's no need to sweat it. With a firm glare, the Elder lays down the law. Over today's mess, the Qingcheng sect won't be able to demand a single dime or explanation from the Tang clan. Relieved, our boy realizes the plan worked perfectly. He cornered the Qingcheng guys and gave his dad his honor back. Before leaving, the Sword Emperor drops a hint that he has one last thing to say, sparking the kid's curiosity. The old man gets dead serious, getting ready to drop the golden offer. Staring right at our MC, he asks if he wouldn't wanna, and that's where it gets crazy, become his personal disciple. The crowd in the hall almost falls over from pure shock. Our boy wonders if he heard that right. The Alliance leader actually wants him as an apprentice? Elders start whispering that the young master will be the 6th disciple, but one quickly corrects them. Since Li Hoshang got kicked out, he's actually the 5th. Getting super hyped, one guy points out that any sect with the leader's disciple turns into a powerhouse within the Murim Alliance. He locks his eyes on the clan's flag and thinks, at this rate, the Sichuan Tang clan is finally gonna get its old glory back. Chuckling, the Emperor notes that the MC can also pull off that serious, ambitious look. The old man adds that, right now, the kid actually looks his real age. Emotionally, the clan leader starts saying thanks, but Tang Hoyol hits full panic mode if the MC becomes the Emperor's disciple. His takeover plan goes up in smoke. But our boy completely kills the mood by saying he can't accept the offer. Surprisingly, the Emperor agrees and calls it a good choice. Right after that, though, the Elder tells him to rest up today and get ready to head to Kaifeng with him tomorrow. The kid is completely lost. Faking shock, the Emperor asks in disbelief, "Are you really telling me no?" The old man admits it's his first time getting rejected and wants to know why. The kid apologizes, explaining he needs to represent his own clan down the line. Continuing his point, he reminds everyone that the Emperor's master was from Wudong, and, holding his ground, he declares he insists his own master be from the Tang clan too. Visibly moved, the kid's dad is super proud of what he just heard. Accepting the rejection, the Emperor finds the answer totally fair. The MC breathes a sigh of relief, thinking he's lucky the old man isn't using his golden eyes to read his mind right now. He knows the perks would be awesome, but they'd be a poisoned chalice. The second they find out about his reverse celestial energy and demonic arts, it's instant execution. The Elder admits he's a bit disappointed, and the MC says he feels the same, stating that what he already learned was a massive help. Remembering how blown away he was by the Wudang principles, the leader flexed. He thinks about all those layers of Taiji packed into a single strike. Surprised, the Emperor wonders, how did this kid catch so much from just one move? Laughing on the inside, the old man really wants this kid as his disciple, but decides to switch up his strategy. He turns to the MC's dad, praising him for raising such a built-different talent. Thanking him, the clan head stays sharp, figuring all this kindness has to have some hidden agenda. Our boy realizes the leader can't force him to go, so he's chilling. But the Emperor warns he's not leaving empty-handed and draws a sword. The MC instantly spots the moonlight pattern on the metal, gripping the glowing weapon. The Elder says he needs to at least give the new generation's light a little push. He offers the blade and tells the kid to grab it, saying Moonfall's mysteries will be super useful one day. The Elders lose their minds. That's Moonfall, forged from meteor metal. Nobody can believe the young master is getting a treasure like this as a gift. Catching the deeper meaning, the clan leader realizes the emperor didn't just hand over a sword. He officially co-signed that his son is OP and earned his full respect. Our MC's eyes are glowing. He can't even believe such a rare material just fell into his lap to use for crafting his divine artifact. Flashing a villainous smirk, he thinks his luck is absolutely cracked right now and it's finally time to get his hands dirty with divine artifact creation. Everything's set, he declares. Now things are gonna get real. Bowing as he takes the gift, he drops the fact that it'd be rude to refuse, and the Sword Emperor loves seeing the kid's manners. Then the old man hands over a little red book, calling it a personal gift. If things ever get too tight, just flash this booklet. Explaining the perk, he says anyone in the Central Plains will follow the kid's orders like the Emperor himself gave them. That's some serious flex, right? Tang is biting his nails out of pure jealousy. He just can't fathom why the Alliance leader gave Moonfall, a symbol of authority, and so many perks to this brat. Grinding his teeth, he boils with hate, thinking that this punk shouldn't even be a blip on the radar. The scene cuts to a tavern with some cheap liquor being poured into a bowl. Jugging his drink, a guy in a big hat curses his life with a massive scowl on his face. He starts having flashbacks to his past mess-ups and dumps all the blame straight onto Lee Hosong. Gripping his own arm with so much rage his veins are about to pop, the dude's face is completely twisted. It's Son Wukong, the former guard captain, cursing the MC all the way back to his ancestors. At a table nearby, the gossip is running wild. People are saying the Tang clan is making huge waves in Sichuan, and if the emperor backs them, they're heading straight to the top. One guy asks if his buddy heard about the Dragon Guard, and the friend confirms. They got completely clowned, and the captain got kicked all the way to Xinjiang, basically the middle of nowhere. Completely stunned, Son Wukong can't believe he got banished to the boondocks, all the way to the Xinjiang mountains. Drinking with blood in his eyes, he swears the MC used dark magic and can't grasp why he's the one taking the fall. Red energy starts oozing from his hand as he vows, "I'm gonna pay this humiliation back with interest." Back at the clan, night falls and the guards are patrolling the whole place, keeping an eye out for any movement. Under the moonlight, two guards are posted up right by the door of a building, standing totally firm on their watch. Nearby, the MC grumbles to himself. He thinks these guys are going way overboard with the security. His dad ordered triple the guards and grounded the kid from leaving. The MC thinks, "Come on, Dad, you're killing me here." He doesn't want to play the rebel son, but he knows he still has his own hustle to take care of. Looking at Moonfall shining right next to him, the decision is locked in. With that classic troublemaker look in his eyes, he realizes he doesn't have a second to waste. He grabs the blade, locked and loaded for action. Chuckling to himself, he watches the blade glow with this insane blue energy. "Let's get it," our boy says, dipping out like a blur, faster than bad news. A guard feels a breeze brush past and glances over, looking pretty suspicious. Scanning for the noise, he just stands there looking like he saw a ghost, totally clueless. The guard plays it cool and brushes it off, figuring it was just his imagination. Hiding behind a pillar, the MC spots two other guards strolling by, just chatting away. He releases a bit of golden energy, taking the chance to run some basic movement drills. Spinning left and right with monstrous agility, he slices through the air with heavy strikes. Our boy realizes the guards missed him because he leveled up, but he still wants to check out the fire rain hall. First things first though, hit the forge to craft his main weapon. Totally dialed in, he gets into position for his next move. Landing softly on the roof, he moves like a cat, completely dead silent. As he stares down at the massive mansion, he starts reflecting on his home. Flashbacks hit him of the good old days, and how it all burned to ash in the future. The contrast cuts deep into his soul. With his somewhat sad look, he realizes the glory days are way behind them. But then he grits his teeth and thinks, just wait a little bit. Determined, our boy vows he's going to make the clan shine all over again. Then he corrects himself. Actually, I'm gonna make the Tang clan even more badass than it was in its prime. Touching down with force, he marks his territory with absolute conviction and drops the line, "Everything starts right now, right here." Arriving at the iron hall, he grips the sword handle, ready to get to work. He stands at the door, figuring he'd need permission, but since it's late, the place should be totally empty. But out of nowhere, a hand pops up in front of him, and the kid almost jumps off the roof from the jump scare. This is where it gets good. He comes face to face with a guy asking, "What are you doing here this late at night, kid?" Introducing himself with respect, our MC states he's Tang Sewun here just to pay his respects to the Iron Hall master, but inside he's kicking himself for bumping into the exact guy he wanted to to avoid. The master glares at him looking seriously unwelcoming, and the kid realizes how deep this goes. Not even his own dad can mess with the clan's top elder. He figures out that this man is one of the Tang clan's big shots, who, surprisingly, doesn't even carry the family's last name. With calloused and scarred hands, the guy is simply the boss of all the Tang clan blacksmiths and runs the entire show at the Iron Hall. Right there, standing face to face with our boy, is the legendary Black Hand craftsman, Gu Yongyan. The kid remembers Gu joined the clan through his friendship with the former boss, Tang Wei-tai, but always kept to himself, far away from all the gossip and internal drama. And that's exactly why the memory of that day stays stuck in his head, the day the Manhwa escort agency decided to pack up and go independent. Back then, Gu Yongyan, who only cared about crafting divine weapons, ended up bailing out right alongside that traitor Tang Hoyo. He didn't even say goodbye, just gave our boy a deeply hurt look and turned his back. Now back in the present, the MC doesn't understand all that bitterness since he did nothing wrong, but realizes this heavy mood means his original plan has to wait. With the utmost politeness, the kid apologizes for showing up at such an awkward time. He explains he had a sudden spark, a crazy idea, and came rushing over to test it out. Crossing his arms, the hallmaster simply drops, "Then get to it." Our boy looks a bit lost, and the old man keeps it real. "Just do what you came here to do and stop bothering me." Impatient, Gu Yongyan tells him to cut the small talk and get moving. Suddenly, Sewell pops up at the door, super cheerful, celebrating that the young master is in the house. The kid even stutters seeing her, and the girl sincerely thanks him for what he did back then. With a tear in her eye, she shows she was genuinely touched by his actions. Flashing a smile, the MC tells her to chill, saying all that matters is that she's safe and sound. The hallmaster reminds him that the MC is grounded for a week, but since he sneaked out and is already here, he might as well use the tools right now. He drops his jaw at the offer, while Gu tells Sewell to tag along with him so they don't get in the way of the work. Amazed that the craftsman lent out the gear he loves more than his own life, our boy says goodbye, promising a proper thank you later, but a nagging thought hits. How do these two even know each other? The hallmaster yells out and stops him in his tracks, making the MC ask what's wrong this time. He stays quiet for a moment, staring at the kid with a look like his mind is miles away, sighs and says it's nothing, turning his back to leave with Sewell, leaving our boy standing there just watching them. Standing in the middle of the workshop, the MC is completely lost after that weird encounter. "I'll think about that later," he decides, shifting his focus straight to the forge. He opens the door and steps into that dark, smoke-filled room. With a focused glare, he knows he can't let this golden opportunity slip by. The kid remembers an old saying stating that, for a true master, the weapon is just a detail, a simple means to an end. Pure nonsense, he thinks, completely disagreeing with that mindset. Glancing at the weapons on the wall, the boy claims there are divine artifacts out there that can body any martial art in a raw fight. He spots a sword over there and finds the quality pretty mid, concluding the Iron Hall's current work is lacking. Grabs a heavy training blade to get a general feel for it. Wielding the toy, he notices that this piece has the hallmaster's personal touch. Honestly, looking at the other pieces, he admits they're masterpieces for today's standards, but to him they're still missing that spark. Our boy remembers that, even without the 10 divine weapons he personally crafted back in the day, the Blood Cult still has an elite squad rocking heavy demonic gear. Near the fire, he reflects on how the cult's weapons are brutal and bizarre, literal metal nightmares. He takes off his shirt and makes a call. To take those guys down, he needs an artifact that's at least on that exact same level. Slips on some black leather gloves, something a regular blacksmith would never wear. Stepping firm, he gets into position to start the magic. Facing the blazing furnace, our boy warns himself that what comes next is no joke. He tosses the Moonfall sword straight into the fire. Truly dialed in, he knows this isn't just some random forging session. It's a whole different level. His eyes glow with the sheer determination of someone about to rewrite destiny. A flashback hits showing that, in his past life, he was super hyped to discover he could craft divine artifacts, but right after that, the Blood Cult came in and wrecked everything. Waking up with a killer headache, he has no clue where he even is. Starts wandering through the ruins, completely lost and aimless in the middle of nowhere. He drops to his knees and lets out a desperate scream, crying out in the middle of what's left of the world. But then he grits his teeth hard, faces reality, and locks in on what needs to be done right now. Staring at his own hands, he's totally spaced out, trying to process if this is real or if he's somehow still alive. The weight of the guilt hits him while wandering alone to a cold, dark hallway. Why only me? Why am I the only one left? Suddenly, a voice cuts through the silence, talking about a legendary metal shaping technique capable of creating divine weapons. He turns his head and comes face to face with the blood demon, who points out that this art was a myth only the Tang clan's founder could pull off. Now, in a pure torture scene, the MC is chained up on his knees, while the villain notes that he's apparently finally mastered the technique. Boiling with rage, the kid lets out a furious roar, swearing he's going to put that scumbag in the dirt. The blood demon just gives a twisted smile and starts torturing him with zero mercy. Suspended upside down by chains, our boy agonizes in a pain that feels completely endless. The villain, shirtless and with eyes glowing a demonic red, lays it out. Forge my sword and I'll let you live. With eyes full of pure hate, the kid claps back exactly how he deserves. Drop dead. He doesn't like that answer one bit and attacks violently, giving absolutely no breaks. The monster questions his stubbornness and plays dirty, asking if he really doesn't care if the rest of the Tang clan gets completely wiped out. Beaten and bruised, the MC glares at the villain, who scoffs, saying it makes no difference if the kid believes him or not, acting like he already won the game. The villain claims that unifying Jianggu is just a matter of time, with or without a divine weapon. He drops the ultimate threat, warning that, next time, he'll bring his relatives' heads like their little gifts. Deep in the loneliness of that cell, the kid figures the monster probably clapped everyone already, but if there's even a tiny chance they're alive, he has no choice. Clenching his fist so hard his nails dig into his skin, he makes the hardest choice of his life. He's gonna fold. With the look of someone who just lost their soul, he accepts. I'll do what you want. But he lays down one condition. A divine weapon is fueled by its owner's energy, so if the villain wants the perfect blade, he offers the deal. He'll side with him, but the blood demon has to teach him his martial arts so the blade of vengeance can truly bloom. And just like that, 15 years went by. 10 weapons were born and the MC mastered 10 martial arts, starting with the heavy reverse celestial energy. Holding that red energy core, he remembers the birth of the 10 demonic weapons and how he became the demonic craftsman, the most brutal blacksmith the world had ever seen. Back in the present at the forge, he knows the iron hall's regular fire would never melt Moonfall's meteoric iron. The kid tosses the blade into the flames and calls upon the Golden Arts authority. It's time to use divine artifact creation for real. In a flash, the sword's metal breaks down, turning into a glowing pool of liquid steel. He grabs the hammer ready to start this metal ballet. Every single swing is a masterstroke, shaping the glowing metal with some cracked precision. Dips the piece into the water as a steam rises, wrapping up the masterpiece. The result? A fabric that's the perfect balance. It blocks any attack and slices right through any defense. Flashing an image of a woman wrapped in cloth, it's the symbol of Sail Aodun, the demonic empress, and the fourth of the 10 terrifying weapons. Known as the Celestial Weave, the MC holds the fabric and regrets that, lacking materials, he only managed to craft one of the 9 original pieces. But he quickly brushes off that worry. What he's actually plotting is something else entirely. With a locked-in stare, he decides to switch up the forging direction. He punches the air with force and declares, "It's not the celestial weave I'm making right now." Channeling his energy, he reveals the game plan, creating threads so thin and tough they make celestial silk look like a joke, a deadly variant of the 10 demonic weapons. The boy manipulates everything flawlessly, showing off his brand new creation, the celestial net. But the piece is short-lived. He senses a hostile vibe dropping from above an assassin. He narrowly dodges a strike coming from the ceiling that almost split him right in half. In a crazy reflex move, our boy spins around and blocks the hit using his new thread weapon. The attacker goes into pure shock. What? How is this possible? Staring at his own blade tangled in those weird threads, the guy is totally clueless. While the MC points out he's pretty clumsy for an Alliance elite. With an ice-cold glare, he recognizes the dude is the Dragon Guard captain, but quickly corrects himself with some harsh disrespect. "Now you're just Sun Wukong," the kid says, thanking him for the visit while the man grinds his teeth with absolute hate. Right now, holding the celestial net, the MC smirks. This is the perfect moment to test out his new toy. Sun Wukong fires back, saying he's actually the thankful one since he didn't have to hunt the kid down across the whole clan. Figuring the MC is just acting cocky, the man charges in, going all out, calling the boy a pathetic punk. He dumps all his golden energy into his weapon and swears he's gonna end the party in a single strike. Our boy just flashes that signature side smirk. "I highly doubt things are gonna go your way." Suddenly, the threads snap tight and Sun Wukong's weapon shatters to pieces like it was made of glass. The guy stares at his own hand, now completely tangled up in wires, and no one saw that coming. He just blue screens in total shock. Grinding his teeth in pure rage, Sun Wukong tries to break free from the threads, but realizes it's completely useless. With a sharp yank, our boy launches the attacker through the air like a simple ragdoll. Watching the enemy crawl on the dirt. The MC puts it together. The guy grabbed a random weapon, probably to hide his true identity. Manipulating the threads with a glowing blue aura, he keeps it real. He wants to see how long Sun Wukong lasts without his main weapon. Charging in, the man tries to attack, but the kid is so fast he can barely track the movement. Moving with fluid steps, our boy slowly corners the opponent using the celestial net. Completely outplayed, the attacker watches threads sprouting from every single corner, closing the trap. Cursing out loud, Sun Wukong is hopelessly lost inside that whirlwind of attacks. He tries to block the threads coming from every direction, pushing his speed to the absolute max. Figuring out the enemy's game plan, the MC knows the guy wants to turtle up in a defensive barrier and try to escape the trap. Dead serious, our boy drops a warning. Since you want to play defense, I'll show you something different. Channeling blue energy into his hands, he preps the true secret art of the Divine Maiden sect. Flawless divine thread art. First technique, he announces out loud. With a surgical strike, the enhanced thread attack slices right across the man's face. Howling in pain, the attacker covers the wound, while the MC taunts, "You already lost an ear, there's no point hiding who you are anymore." Glaring with pure hate, the man listens as the kid says he should have shown his hand from the very start. Blinded by rage, the attacker charges forward, going all out. "Shut your mouth," screams Sun Wukong, leaping with everything he has to deliver the finishing blow. Imbuing his sword with fire energy, he thinks, only another blade aura can stop this. This kid isn't even close to that level. Thinking the fight is in the bag, he rushes in for the final strike with complete confidence. The gleam in his eyes shows he's 100% sure he just won. But out of nowhere, a massive burst of red energy completely shuts everything down. Stopped dead in his tracks, his sword gets blocked by some invisible force. Coughing up blood and totally dazed, he wonders what kind of crazy dark magic that was. A bright blue light pulses from the MC's hand, revealing the exact defense that stopped the heavy swing. Turns out it was the flawless divine thread art. Second technique, circular guard. Sun Wukong completely short circuits. A shield made entirely of threads? Why would anyone use such a trash move? Cool as ice, the MC claps back. Because your sword is way too weak to cut through it. He explains that the Divine Maiden art isn't just some basic skin-hardening trick, it's on a whole other level. Creating a heavy-duty armor, the technique traps and seals the impact right around the target. Even though it looks like string, he reveals the celestial net is as hard as meteoric iron, now totally boosted by the Maiden's art, brushing off the enemy's sunder bombs like they're nothing. Our boy leaves Sun Wukong standing there shook, spitting more blood. The man feels the brutal recoil of the exact same attack he just tried to land. Panting hard, he stares at the kid and thinks, this guy isn't human, he's a straight-up monster. Taking a step forward, the MC closes the distance on his fallen enemy. Mocking the guy, he points out Sun Wukong's actual skills are pretty pathetic compared to that whole tough guy act. The man can't wrap his head around how some rookie, who should barely know the basics, has an arsenal like this. Putting a hand on his shoulder, our boy drops a warning, "Don't sweat it, I gotta drag you to the law hall so I can't finish you off today." Flashing a scary smile, he adds, "But first, I'm gonna teach you a lesson, exactly like the one Lee Ho-song got." Just hearing Lee Ho-song's name makes Sun Wukong shiver. He'd rather bite the dust than go through that nightmare. Desperate, he decides there's no way he's ending up crippled with a shattered energy core. And that's where it gets crazy. The man detonates his own energy to break the hold, catching the kid totally off guard. Breaking out of the boy's grip, he escapes right in the middle of a massive aura blast. Staring at the hole the guy busted through the wall, the NC thinks, man, I really thought he'd put up a better fight. Letting out a heavy sigh, he mutters, this clown is just giving me extra homework now. The scene cuts to a bamboo forest, with the scenery rushing by in an absolute blur. Panting heavily, Sun Wukong runs for his life, trying to save his own skin. He can't accept reality, running away like a beaten dog from a kid who was supposed to be a second-rate nobody. Remembering the MC's cold stare, he figures it out. That was the exact look of someone using demonic arts, no doubt about it. Stopping for a split second to catch his breath, he feels like he burned every last drop of energy just to make that escape. Glancing over his shoulder, Sun Wukong convinces himself the kid won't be able to track him. Confident he still has some internal energy to spare. Keeping up the sprint, he focuses on figuring out his next life move. The dilemma hits hard, the Alliance threw him out, so he wonders if his only option left is following the Yangtze River and joining the unorthodox faction. Flashing a cynical smile, he figures dropping some juicy Alliance secrets will score him a really sweet spot over there. Out of nowhere, an ice-cold voice cuts through the air. Backstabbing scumbags really never change, even after turning back time. Whipping his head around, he comes face to face with our boy. The MC roasts him. Is your brain just for decoration? You ran straight to this spot? With a creepy little chuckle, the kid points out the bamboo in this forest is so tough it practically rivals steel. Panicking, Sun Wukong curses under his breath. He doesn't have nearly enough energy to pull off his sword technique anymore. With 0 options left, he resorts to a basic thrusting attack. Winding up, he plans to pierce the kid's heart with a single clean strike. But out of nowhere, the man freezes up, completely confused. Looking down, he just sees a foot right in front of him. Is this supposed to be a kick? He wonders, totally dazed. Charging his arm with the sinister purple energy, the kid brings the hammer down. The impact is absolutely brutal, sending the man flying straight into the bamboo thicket. Tossing through the air, he bounces around like a dry leaf caught in a storm. Glowing energy threads wrap tight around the traitor's neck, locking him in place. Within seconds, the wires wrap around his entire body, tying him up like a bug in a cocoon. Screaming in pure agony, he feels the crushing pressure of those glowing red threads. Flashing a confident smirk, our boy drops the line. Too bad the celestial net never lets go once it bites down on its prey. Hitting full panic mode, Sun Wukong senses something super weird. Is this innate core energy? Hanging midair and completely paralyzed, the guy screams, "You absolute psycho." Showing 0 shame, the clown immediately starts begging for his life. Desperate, he begs for mercy, claiming he blacked out and completely lost his mind. Hitting him with a look of pure disgust, the kid mutters, "Worm." Tossing the attacker far away, he warns, "If I ever see your face again, you're dead meat." Kissing the dirt, Sun Wukong bows non-stop, thanking him and calling him Lord Tang. Turning his back, the MC just walks away, looking like he's ignoring the whole kissing up routine. And just like that, everything changed. Flashing an evil smirk, the attacker proves it was all just a cheap act. Pulling a hidden blade, he figures the idiot is gonna learn a harsh lesson in the afterlife. Lunging forward with everything he's got, the guy screams. Dropping your guard against a martial artist is a literal death wish. But Sun Wukong freezes up, totally confused. His sneak attack got blah. Out of nowhere, a massive purple energy blade pops up, shutting down the strike completely. Without even breaking a sweat, our boy says, "Did you seriously think you could catch me slipping? Don't worry." Wielding that crackling energy sword, he finishes, "I never believed a word you said." Tearing off his ruined top, the kid reveals his shredded physique, locked in to end this. Standing bare-chested in the middle of the forest, he finally gathers himself. Letting out a heavy sigh, he feels actual relief now that the whole fight is wrapped up. Staring down at the defeated traitor, he concludes, now there's only one target left. Miles away in a grand hall, a guy drops his jaw hearing about the assassination attempt. How could the Dragon Guard captain try something that insane? Boiling with rage, an elder fires back. If they had just punished that squad from the start like the Alliance leader wanted, none of this would be happening. The shouting match keeps going. One demands to know how they'll clean up this mess, while the other claims nobody could have predicted this. Stepping in, a third guy tells everyone to chill out and focus on this so-called additional compensation plan. Meanwhile, Tang Sewun's big brain moves were already sending shockwaves all across the Marim world. Over at the Tang clan's escort agency office, 2 guys are busy scheming about the future. Young Dahl, the vice boss, worries out loud, asking if bringing in a cracked wandering warrior is gonna backfire on them. Sweating bullets, he questions if taking over the Marim Alliance's escort job right behind their backs is really a smart play. His partner in crime tells him to relax, since the guy's a supreme peak realm master. Nobody is gonna dare ask any questions. It's completely off the books. What could possibly go wrong? The conspirator asks, leaving the vice boss deep in thought. Holding his teacup, the man drops some advice. You gotta think bigger, partner. Staring into his tea, he makes a dark vow. Once this escort mission wraps up, the Tang clan hits rock bottom, and the boss's throne is all yours, Jung Dal. Sitting at that table, the 2 conspirators seal the deal in dead silence. Jung Dao makes his choice, dropping a piece on the board and accepting the shady plan. The guy laughs with satisfaction, congratulating the vice boss for making the right choice. Chuckling from the shadows, the traitor celebrates. Tang Sewun almost ruined everything, but in the end, he monopolized the Alliance's compensation and turned a disaster into an absolute gold mine. With toxic irony, the backstabber raises a toast and calls our MC nephew. Meanwhile, night falls over one of the Tang clan estates. Leaping like a cat, our boy lands on the spot without making a single sound. He wastes 0 time and starts grinding his martial arts moves. Fluid, fast, and deadly motions. The training session is heavy. With a raw punch, he unleashes a blue energy wave that slices right through the air. Sweating, but dialed in, he's determined to make up for lost time. He lets out a sigh of relief. His recovery is pretty much done. Dropping to the floor completely drained, he wonders, has it been 4 days already? The recoil from pushing his energy core to the limit hit him hard, and pain is now a constant shadow. Remembering the agony, it felt like hundreds of knives stabbing him, making him pass out and wake up over and over. Staring at his own hand, he admits he went way overboard with the power output while crafting that artifact. He beats himself up over it, realizing he didn't need to use the one-point kill technique just to body Sun Wukong. Thinking back to the demonic empress, Soren, she was the best at hexes, and each of her 9 celestial weaves carried a heavy curse. He breaks down his own technique. The celestial net, the weave's prototype, also has curses etched into it. So far, the only secret art he managed to unlock is the one-point kill, hidden right in his ring finger. With his hand glowing, the kid confirms the gift of never missing a target is still intact. He just needs energy to fire it. Running the numbers, Sun Wukong, even being a peak realm master, is just a lightweight compared to a blood cult member. Arms crossed, he calculates. Against the cult's vice captain, it'd be a draw. But against the captain, he'd only last 50 exchanges. A leaf gets sliced in half mid-air. He senses something approaching. He thinks about his most dangerous weapon, the formless flying dagger. Holding that purple energy blade changes the game completely. The problem is, in his current state, he can only wield it for about 3 minutes. Outside, someone yells for people to get out of the way. Spotting his sister, he gets confused. She's causing a major scene with the guards. One guard tries to block her, quoting the clan head's strict orders that nobody goes in. She fires right back. The order was to protect against assassins, not to treat family like strangers. Ignoring the stuttering guard, she bulldozes her way right through. Entering the room, our boy greets her and suggests they grab a seat. A heavy silence completely takes over the room. Looking at his sister's fierce scowl, the kid wonders, is she mad at me? Her anger makes perfect sense. She warned him to stop picking fights after the Li Ho-sung mess, but he completely ignored her. He really hopes she won't try to whip him, thinking he's way too old to get a spanking. Breaking the silence, she drops, "You look way too good for someone who almost died." He quickly apologizes, confirming the obvious. The woman is furious. She pours a drink and orders him to chug it. What the heck is this? He thinks. Explaining the brew, she says she boiled 100-year-old snow ginseng for 2 days to help him recover. Touched by the gesture, he calls her sister and turns it down, saying he can't accept this. He remembers that was her prize from the Dragon Phoenix gathering. Giving it up is a massive sacrifice. Shrugging it off, she claims, "It's useless to me anyway, it was just gonna go bad." It's an obvious lie. He remembers she sweat blood to earn her spot as one of the 9 dragons and 4 phoenixes. Flashbacks show her stuck on a training plateau, grinding her teeth in pure frustration trying to break her own limits. He refuses again, insisting she should drink it, but she glares at him. "Are you really gonna reject my sincerity?" That look, which used to terrify him as a kid, now just seems kinda weird. Suddenly, a rapid memory hits. He's standing there covered in blood. A sword pierces right through a body. The memory from the past rushes back with devastating force. Shaken to the core, he sinks into that moment of piercing pain and total despair. A brutal dizzy spell knocks him off balance and he pants while a voice calls out his name. Visibly worried, the young woman holds her brother and asks what just happened and if he's okay. Catching his breath, he brushes it off as nothing, just a quick dizzy spell. She doesn't buy that excuse, telling him to hurry up and drink the brew, warning that a second refusal means strict punishment. Staring right at his sister, he's left speechless by her sheer stubbornness. Realizing he can't win against that persistence, he decides to accept her goodwill and pay it back by guiding her to a much higher martial realm. He holds the bowl and makes one request, for her to guard him for just a little bit. Outside, the night remains dead quiet over the estate. Eyes wide open, his sister watches every single detail of what's happening inside. Meditating hard, the kid absorbs the energy, thinking his plan was just to heal his body, not score some extra cultivation. Surprised, he realizes the value of that snow ginseng is off the charts. He must have soaked up about 15 years of internal energy all at once. She asks if he's done, and he confirms it, admitting it helped a ton. He feels a lot lighter and sincerely thanks her. Our boy takes the chance to ask, "Sister, is your main weapon still that iron fan?" Looking down at the weapon on her waist, she confirms, "Yeah, that's the one." With a confident smile, he invites her to the forge once his grounding is over, promising a very special gift. Out of nowhere, someone announces the clan head's arrival. The MC jumps. "My dad? What is he doing here?" The dad walks into the room, making the kid think today is just full of surprises. First the sister, now the patriarch. Both of them give a formal bow, and the MC notices his sister was caught off guard too. With a serious and heavy aura, the clan head just stands there in silence, weighing down the whole room. Panicking about the ginseng she took without asking, the girl tries to explain herself herself. Dad, it's not what it looks like. With a sharp gesture, the father dismisses her. She dashes out, totally relieved. Grumbling as she walks away, she mutters, "That traitor," while her brother watches her leave. The dad turns to his son, locking him down with a piercing stare. "Yes, father," our boy replies, visibly sweating. The dad gets straight to the point. "I know you're hiding a secret." He states that, during the fight with Li Ho-song and Sun Wukong, his son hid something even from the alliance leader. Shocked, the MC asks, "How do you know?" The father replies, "A dad always notices when his son changes." But the clan head assures him he didn't come here to interrogate his boy. Overwhelmed with emotion, the kid thinks about how he wanted to spill everything, that he missed him, that he's grateful, and that he's sorry. Pacing around the room, the dad asks if he knows why he didn't reach out sooner. The MC assumes, "It must be because of my mistakes." "Actually, it was my fault," the dad corrects him, leaving our boy completely confused. Clenching his fist, the clan head carries the heavy weight of that choice. He takes a seat and admits his whole life he trusted the alliance and chivalry, but his own stubbornness only made the clan wither away. He confesses that even though he felt his duty to the clan, he never regretted following his beliefs. And that's where it gets crazy. Until that very moment. Mocking himself, he calls himself a chivalrous hero who couldn't even protect his only son. "So-woon," he calls out by the candlelight, grabbing the kid's full attention. The old man admits that even though his son acts harsh, his path is the right one. He advises the kid not to change his ways. Actually, it's the father who needs to change. He wants to walk his son's path and become his safe haven, in exchange for just one single promise. The kid waits in suspense. The request is that he never loses his sense of chivalry, even when acting ruthlessly. He points it out clearly. "Your bloodlust is getting way too thick." He warns that if his son only focuses on killing scumbags, he'll eventually turn into one himself. Holding his dad's hand, the MC confesses he doesn't know how to define chivalry, but he truly believes whoever deserves to die must die. He stands up and says he gets his dad's worry, but insists there are some villains who just never change. With his finger raised, he makes the vow, "Dad, for once, if someone doesn't truly deserve death, I'll give them one single chance." The father closes his eyes and accepts his son's promise with a gentle nod. Under the moonlight, the clan head wraps things up. "All right, that's enough." Half a moon later, a carriage rolls through a bustling city, packed with people everywhere. Inside, one of the travelers is surprised. She expected a ghost town, but the place is absolutely packed. Her companion shuts her down instantly. "Watch your mouth. That sounds super rude." Annoyed, Chang Yon, the MA6 elite disciple, claims she just called it like she saw it, while the other, Ha Young, just watches. Zero reaction. Changyan scoffs and fires back. "Rude? How does the Tang clan even dare look sideways at the MA sect?" Hao Young is completely shocked by her partner's absolute lack of common sense. With total authority, Abbess Junhua lays down the law. Until they arrive, they're gonna hold the horse riding stance to train their minds through physical strain. Chuong Yang cries, absolutely desperate to skip the punishment. Looking out the window, the abbess finds the whole vibe super weird. She wonders to herself, didn't everybody say the Tang clan hit rock bottom? Outside, the crowd is a literal sea of people. All you hear is complaining and pushing. Cheong Yan is blown away. Why are there so many people? Looks like they have more patience here than our own sect. A guy in the crowd comments, who would have thought the young master's medical skills would reach this level? Another chimes in, they say there's no sickness he can't cure with just one needle. Rumor has it he learned from a divine healer. The crowd notes that even though the escort agency is brand new, the Sichuan Tang clan is the OG birthplace of top-tier medicine and blacksmithing. Losing her patience, Changyan butts in. If the wait is this bad, why not just go to the Ame sect? Our techniques are way better. A local fires right back, that place is only for rich folks. Us regular people can't even get through the door. The young master here is our only hope. He shares that just a few days ago, the kid cured someone the Ime doctors had completely given up on. Cheong Yan almost loses her mind, but the abbess orders her to shut her mouth immediately. The disciple argues they're disrespecting the sect, but the leader asks, did you already forget your grandmaster's warning? Flashback. The elder ordered them to go apologize on behalf of the Marine Alliance, pointing out the Tang heir has a lot to teach, and they should strictly play nice. The elder made it crystal clear, disobey, and she'd handle the brutal punishment herself, no matter the abbess's rank. Back in the present, Ha Young wants to announce their arrival, but the abbess shoots it down. No need. speed. Let's see if their skills really beat ours. They decide to watch the show up close. The flow of patients in the clinic is insane. People are walking in and out at lightning speed. The MI squad is frozen, completely failing to grasp how it's moving so fast. Narrowing her eyes, the abbess wonders, how is he finishing everything so fast? Ha, Young agrees, it's ridiculously fast. This isn't normal. The disciple comes up with a theory. It's gotta be a scam. They're probably just numbing the pain to make it look like a cure. A woman steps up, apologizes for the delay, and invites them inside. With a smile, she asks if they've been waiting long. Ha! Young thinks a real doctor would condemn this. They're just stealing these people's time and money. She locks in. This is completely unforgivable. In the waiting room, the guide asks them to hang tight. The abbess gives a tight-lipped thanks. In total silence, the sect leader peeks through the crack in the door. She wants to see this trick with her own eyes. Inside, our boy is treating a patient, looking cool as a cucumber. Young whispers that the place looks sketchy, and Changyan insists the kid has a punchable face. Young sticks to her guns. I'm gonna strike the second I get proof of this scam. On the other side of the door, a desperate mom begs for help, and the kid calms her down. Don't sweat it. I'm gonna fix your daughter. He asks the patient some questions, and she explains other doctors said she'd never walk again. Examining the girl's foot, he asks, you threw yourself to dodge something, right? The mom is totally shook. How does he know that? The woman confirms 3 months ago, she rolled to dodge a carriage. The MC says he figured as much. He drops the diagnosis. Yokosu. Damaged shin nerves causing muscle paralysis. Cheongyan starts panicking. How did he diagnose that in literally 1 second? Both the abbess and Ha Young drop their jaws. They admit they didn't even catch the problem at first glance. The diagnosis was flawless. Xiaomyan tries to get their attention, but the two are still completely blue screening. Full of hope, the mom asks, can you actually treat her? The kid flashes a smile. I'm gonna handle it right now. Spitting straight venom, Xiaomyan mutters that the needle looks as sketchy and black as the kid's heart. And just like that, everything changed. The abbess and Ha Young freeze up, absolutely stunned by what they just saw. The sect leader can't wrap her head around the logic. How is he pulling in that much internal energy with such a thin needle without making her body blow up? Analyzing the tool, she realizes, that's way better than anything I've bought at the White Knight Forge for a fortune. It's an actual divine artifact. Xiaoyan stays completely clueless, wondering why their frequency whisper isn't getting picked up inside. Suddenly, the young patient screams in pure joy, I can move my leg. The mom breaks down crying, thanking him nonstop. Watching the whole thing, the abbess knows for a fact he didn't just numb the pain, that's a legit cure. She figures out he reconnected every single nerve and meridian in the girl's body. Smiling with pure admiration, she calls it, there's no other way to say it. He's an absolute, built different genius. Then reality hits. The leader realizes how badly they just messed up by being there. The Grandmaster's warning rings in her head. For any martial clan, what they just did, spying on a secret art, is a literal death wish. Leaving the clinic, the cured patient promises to come back, but the MC cuts her off. Since you're all fixed up, there's no need to show your face here anymore. With a bright smile, the girl insists she really wants to see him again. Our boy smiles back and says, then swing by whenever you're craving some sweets. Celebrating with her mom, the kid asks, Mom, does this mean I can play as much as I want now? Outside, the abbess is hitting full panic mode. How are we supposed to get out of this? The weight of karma hits hard. They got caught red-handed pulling a super shady move. She makes the call. The only way out is to own up and beg for forgiveness with total honesty. But before she can even step up, the woman completely freezes in place. And that's where it gets crazy. A heavy, suffocating energy erupts right in the hallway. Dropping to the floor, Chang Yon is absolutely terrified, while the MC steps into the doorway explaining he only let them chill so he could focus on his patient. Hand wrap in a lethal aura, he lays down the sentence, you're gonna pay the price for spying on my clan's secret technique. Don't even think about making it out of this place alive.